Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come in and add in some of those roads now that I created them. So let me go ahead. I'm going to create another proposal just to bring this one up, and I'll call this one O2 underscore, and this call roads. And so hit OK. And because I use this as my starting block, it is of course going to include all of these as part of my design. And so now I want to come in and add in my component roads. So I'm going to come in, first thing I'm going to do is select this road, because this road is already here, and I actually want that to be a component road. So I'm going to select it, then I'm going to right click and say convert to component road. And so it's going to come in and kind of tweak the road a little bit and turn it into a component road. Now, it's not the way I want it, but it's not bad. So let's go ahead. I'm going to right click, I'm going to select it. Oops, missed it. There we go. And I'm going to right click and go to road assembly, and I want to replace this assembly, and I'm going to replace it with that major corridor. So sidewalk both is fine, even though this isn't going to have a sidewalk. I'm going to put it right here. And then I get these two little drag points, and so I can drag these things down to the end of the road. You can also come over here. If you select them, you'll see align to, and I can select it, go to start of road, and then it's going to bring in my road. So I'm going to come in here. Now I'm going to right click it, finish replace, and so now it's going to put this road in. And so now I have a component road that goes from the start to the end and everything like that, but it has a sidewalk, and I don't want the sidewalk. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to come to this portion first. So come over to the curb, I'm going to right click on it, and hold on, let me select it. I didn't select it. Right click on it. I'm going to go replace component, and I am going to find, hopefully, let's see if we can find a shoulder. There we go, shoulder. So I'm going to say, okay, let's add a shoulder to this. And I'm going to make it dirt, so I'm going to go more styles. Let's find some sort of dirt or something decent. And we'll just pick a light gray, something like that. So now I've replaced that, and I just kept it at default. Now I'm going to come over here and select this and just hit delete. I don't like that. Let's change the way it looks. More styles. Inner curves. Go up to parent. And I'm going to find, see, roadway. And let's see how this looks. So I'm going to click over here. Yeah, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it'll do. It looks like a shoulder. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to come over here, select this, right click, replace component, shoulder, okay. Change the way it looks. And then select this one. Delete. Alright, that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to come in here, I'm going to right click, go insert road component. Let's come in and find a median. And let's see, here it is, median. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a median here. And yes, it looks weird. I'm going to set a center line where it comes, and not all these have it, this one does. So I'm going to set this as a center line. So come in here and pick center. Just going to think for a second. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and right click, and let's go get rid of the transition and the transition. And then I'm going to come in here and let's move this to the start of the road and the end of the road. And let's make it wide. I don't know, something like 20 feet. And so now I've got a nice wide road, basically showing that. It's a little bit better looking. I could add in a shoulder to the inside if I wanted to, whatever. But that's not bad. All right, so now I have that. So now I want to come in and let's add in a major collector. So looking at this, I think the major collector, if I look at this design, looks like it comes up here and then kind of kicks over this way. And then I'm going to say that this one's a major collector, I guess. No, maybe the one in the middle is a major collector that goes all the way up and through over to this side. And then I'll keep these as residential, although I think this one can be too. Maybe I'll keep this as residential. All right, so let's try this out. It's not like I can't change it. So I'm going to go component road. I already have major collector. I'm going to come over here and set it as an element based. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to click kind of the straightaways and the curves. So I'm going to say, okay, I want this to start here. It's going to come to right about here. It's going to curve kind of like this. Go up straight, let's say to right about here, and then it's going to have a little curve, so maybe right here. It's going to go straight, like so, probably a little curve, a little straight, little curve. And then I'm going to come up here like so. Little curve. Something like, let's go here. And then straight right here. And I'm going to right click and in draw. Let's see how this looks. So it's not bad. It's kind of shows my thing. I can make, maybe stretch this out, make that a little bit wider there. Casual here, comes up through the middle. Let's see, turns right here, so it turns a little bit quicker than I would expect, and then comes up, and I've got another road up at the top. So let's see. So let's tighten this down. And then I'm going to scooch that over a little bit. And I just need to slide this down a little bit. This. There. All right, so now that's a pretty decent one. You notice that this thing really kind of cuts through. It drops down these things. I don't really like that setup because it is so hilly here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that road. I'm going to right click, and there's an option here to show profile view. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and let's see, that's about 2,500. And that's about 26. So here's 25. And so if I move that up a little, that looks a little bit better. Let's move this up a little. And I can actually adjust this based on the heights and all in the area. So now I have this. Let's see. I can come in and kind of look. Well, see that. That kind of blew that up a little bit. So let's lower this. So I can come in and kind of tweak out this road some so that it looks a little bit better. I can add points. So let's see, somewhere 2400. So let's go here, 22. And so you can kind of clean this up. You have a real hilly area that we're dealing with here. So it might take a little more work to, excuse me, to get this to look right design-wise. And so once you're happy with the design, you can come in and clean this up. Now I've got too much of a vertical here. I'm going to have to definitely mess with this a little bit more. So let me come back to this. So if you look at this road now, it kind of comes along. For the most part, I try to get it to follow the landscape. Now I would be doing cut and fills normally, but in this case, I just want to kind of get a general thing. So I have it following the landscape. Pretty decent. And so I can go ahead and close off that profile, and then I can come in and work on a couple others. So let's do, there's one that comes up this way. I'm going to go ahead and make that a major corridor and come up here. And so major collector, and I'm going to click right about here. And this one goes up to here. Excuse me, up to about right here. And then we'll just pull it like this, and then we'll come straight through like so. Excuse me for coughing. Now here's the cool thing with these component rows. Whenever you have them set up, if you drag it out to the center of a road, it automatically creates a little intersection. So I can also do the same thing over here. So let's just drag that out to this. And got a nice little road here. I have to adjust this one because I wasn't paying attention. There we go. And let's see how this looks. That actually looks pretty good. Let's go over. Let's say, like in this, it kind of trimmed it a little bit here. I'm going to right click right here and click Add Curve. And what that's going to do is give me this little point. And I'm going to just pull this out just a little bit, like so. And let's pull out just a little bit more. See how that looks. Looks pretty good. So I can pull that out like so. Let's go ahead. Bring this around like so. There we go. And then I can come over here and let's bring this up a little bit. And then let's come over here. I gotta adjust this in a little bit, like so. See how that looks. Actually, it looks pretty good. All right, so now I have this. And then I think there's another collector, if I remember right, that's set up to go right up and then tie into that road right there. So let's see. I'm going to shorten this a little bit. Shorten that to right there. And let's go ahead and we're going to start here. And we're going to come out to right about here. And then we'll do a little turn like this. Come up here. Something like that. I'll turn here. And then go into this one right here. And if you don't like the thing, you can adjust your radius. And I'm going to move this up a little, something like that. Now, I'm not necessarily worried about how well this looks with what I currently have, and the main reason why is I'll probably turn off these parcels. I'm just kind of using them for a visual guide right now, and then I can adjust in a little bit. Does that look a little bit too high? All right. So now I have all these. So I'm going to come in, now that I have this, and you notice I really didn't adjust anything right here. I'll probably maybe raise this point a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tie in the other rows. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll come right back. Okay, so this is it with me adding in a couple of the roads. Occasionally you'll have something like this, and you're like, okay, what did I do wrong? Because it's not tying in. Well, if you actually look, it is not tying in because it can't find that road. So let's just raise it up a little, see what happens here. So if I select it, now that one's not bad, still kind of high. Let's go ahead, I'm going to lower a little bit. Oh, too low. So let's go select this one. Maybe the problem is this one. And so if I select here and I right click and go to show profile view, that's at station 878. So I got to come all the way over here and zoom in. So let's say right about here I'm going to add a point. And once I add a point, if I right click and go show in canvas, it's actually going to show me where that point is. And I want to slide that a little bit over this way. It doesn't want to go here for a second, but I'll show you why. All right, let's shorten this. Scooch that way. And then I'm going to scooch this over here. And then I'm going to slide that down. So now that, for the most part, has flattened out that little area. And I know it looks a little scary right here, but that should kind of fix that problem for the most part. down just a little bit. There we go. All right. So now I have my general roads and all. Now, mind you, I would be doing a lot more road work design, but you can actually do it all in here, including coming in and actually computing what would be the perfect type of road setup, especially for how this is set up, using some of the tools we don't have access to, but I think I might try to show it at another time to place these in a better setup. But that would take a little analysis and some things like that. We're going to hold off on doing that right now. So here's my roads. I think I have all of them, and so this is what I basically would turn in for my class assignment. So I'd have to come in here. Once I'm happy with it, I would come in and hit sync, publish this model to BIM 360. When it comes up, I want to make sure I check the stuff I added. So I added parcels and I added roads. Now what this will do is it will update it in BIM 360. It like saves it in BIM 360. Right now this is already saved on my computer, but it allows anyone who wants to look at it at BIM 360 see what I added since the last design. And so once I have that in, I would hit publish, and I would want to also put this in, and so I would pick my team. So let's see, Section 501, project files, and then I come down. This would be like right here. I could do a project homework 6. Go ahead and select it. Come in and hit publish, and it would update and put that on the web so other people can see it and add their own if they want to, and things like that, depending on how you collaborate in your design. So that's basically what we're trying to get you to the point of for your next class. So if you want to come in, you want to add in your roads, you want to add in, Fredericksburg area has a lot of hills, which is why I adjust the vertical a lot. You're not necessarily going to have to do that a lot around our area, not a huge change. But I added in the roads and I had all this. I will mention that I can come in and go to my data source, and if I don't want to have this anymore, I can always just come in and go to parcels in my data source and just hit X and delete that out. And so for my roads assignment, and my roads, I don't have to see my individual parcels. So you can set it up that way. Or if I come in and drop in those parcels again, and I pick coverage area, I can pick something that has nothing in it. So let's see. I think this might be one. And that's not exactly what I want. But you can actually put it in, and all it shows is the line. So let's try this. I'm going to come in and select that again. Let's come in here. I'm going to go color, and let's set the color to this. But I'm going to set the alpha channel to 0. Hit OK. Hit close and refresh. And so now I have those in there, but you don't have to see them on the design. Okay? So that's just some of the different styles that you can create and all that. And like I said, if you want to get rid of them later on, you can just go ahead and do that. And they're out of the list. So try that out. If you run into any problems, let me know. It's a pretty basic setup, and hopefully you can use this in your design.